Google Hangout Tribe. Have we started? Yeah, okay. Here. Hello, Google Hangout Tribe. I'm here today with Democrat or Democrat-leaning Anushay Hossain, who rates Anushay's point, and Saba Ahmed, who is a Trump supporter and continuously gets beaten around the head for being so, but we appreciate her being with us. I think we all know, I think most people would agree, having looked at polls and such, that Hillary Clinton won the debate. I was just watching CNN and they had a poll where 2-1 independents said she won the debate. But more importantly, since Mitt Romney won his debate with Barack Obama in 2012 and still didn't win his first debate, I should say, and still certainly didn't win that election, more to the point, who changed minds, and particularly who changed independent minds and women of color minds, which are two areas where both the candidates need to make gains. Let's start with you, Saba. What are your thoughts?
I thought Donald Trump was great last night. Obviously, he was on the defense most of the time. Hillary Clinton, being a career politician, displayed her best. She's trained well for these types of debates. But at the same time, I think Donald Trump showed his presidential side. He addressed the issues. He was concerned about the economy, the bringing jobs back to America, national security, defense. So I think he connected with American voters and core issues that are affecting this election. In terms of reaching out to minorities and women voters, I think he addressed his outreach to African American community, also Muslims. It was kind of interesting how Hillary brought up, insulting words, consistent insulting behavior towards Muslims. I thought, Donald Trump has come a long way from that. He now has many Muslims on his campaign at very senior high levels. And so I'm very hopeful that, he will win the White House this November and change around policies for the better for all of Americans.
They didn't really talk immigration last night, though. Tell me about, and I wasn't aware of the fact that many Muslims are high up in his campaign. Who are they?
Well, he has many advisors from the Muslim community now, which is why he's toned down quite a bit on his anti-Muslim rhetoric. And yesterday he talked about how he welcomes everyone at his clubs and other places. I mean, he's done business with Muslims all his life. He has many properties all over the Middle East and all over the place. So, I mean, for us, it was kind of surprising to hear his anti-Muslim rhetoric back in December, but I think at the time he was being advised by specific people. But since then, he's taken back quite a bit of that. And so now we are more concerned about his economic policies, how he'll be reducing taxes, how he will be making America great for everyone, irrespective of our religion, race, and other issues.
But before we go over to Anushay, one last question. Since he said he would like to exclude Muslims last year and even into the beginning of this year, how do you know? You yourself said it's based on who's advising him. What about what's going to happen if he wins the White House and he no longer has to adhere to the direction of advisors who are trying to make him look more moderate?
I think he wants to make America great again for everyone. And, he definitely cannot enact unconstitutional policies against a specific group. There are many federal laws that ban religious discrimination. So I'm ignoring most of that rhetoric. During campaigns, a lot of people say a lot of things, but at the end of the day, we're not deplorables. Wouldn't like to be called that by the Hillary Clinton side either. And I hope that, going forward, we will see a much better presidential side of him, and the next two debates should be very interesting.
Your thoughts, Anushay?
I think Saba and I were watching two different debates. I don't think there's any doubt in anybody's mind that Hillary Clinton not only was the clear winner, but she really rose above. I mean, Donald Trump not only wasn't prepared, but he interrupted her 51 times in the course of 90 minutes. And I mean, he reiterated his point about this being a horrible time to be an African American, lumping them all together as if African Americans only live in ghettos. I haven't heard anything about Donald Trump reversing on his statement about an all-out ban on Muslims, Saba. So I don't know what you're referring to about there. We didn't get to immigration, but I think Hillary Clinton.
Well, he did make one reference to it, which I still haven't had time to research. But he talked about 800 citizens who were supposed to be
deported
the country, and then instead were granted citizenship, and now it's 1,800. What's that about?
I have no idea. That came out of nowhere. I don't know what he was talking about. He did mention that yesterday, that they were supposed to be deported, but then they became citizens. Let me tell you, as somebody who has been through the U.S. immigration system, it is very difficult to become a citizen of the United States, let alone, I mean, not to mention the paperwork. The entire process is very difficult. So it's not like you can just wake up one morning and be like, oh, my papers were misplaced and now I'm a citizen. It doesn't work that way. I thought it was excellent that Clinton really had a difficult task to do. She had to appear presidential, but not too aggressive. She had to be, an ambitious and strong woman, but appear likable. And I think that she did that. She actually Donald Trump took the bait so many times last night. He admitted that he doesn't pay taxes, and that's smart. He admitted that he was happy about the financial crisis in 2008 and that it was good for his business. I mean, this is a man who doesn't care about anybody else except for himself. And I think that was very clear last night. And yes, he does have business.
All right, but let's get back to whose minds were changed. I was at a meeting of conservative Republicans talking about immigration actually this weekend. I know none of those minds were changed by Hillary Clinton's performance. She could have beat him 4-1, 10-1, and those minds aren't changing, period, because they're largely focused on immigration. And that's, when you have one issue voters, their minds aren't going to be changed by a debate.
Exactly. But you know what? I think the core people that are ultra conservative and, to be a little politically incorrect, old white men, I really think that they're not going to come over to Clinton's camp no matter what. They've already made their minds up about.
So what about what about millennials and
undecided women
of color?
Yeah, I think undecided and women, Hillary definitely won over last night, especially at the end when she brought up the fact that Trump refers to women as pigs, as dogs, as pregnancy being an inconvenience. I mean, she really saved that last kind of gender card for the very end, and I thought it was excellent the way that she brought it out. He had no defense. He was incapable of defending himself, and I don't know if you saw Howard Dean tweeted out in the middle of the debate that he thinks that Donald Trump, because he was sniffling so much, could possibly be on cocaine.
Well, Frank Luntz, a little more interesting, credible from my perspective anyway, since he's a Republican pollster, but he tweeted out that in his focus group last night, which you can see online and you can actually watch people reacting to the two of them, that she won over a lot more Republicans than he won over Democrats. So we shall see.
Isn't she also at a 4? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Isn't she also at a 4-point lead this morning? I think that's the latest that I heard. So she really got a bump from yesterday. Even the New York Post.
I think Trump is leading many of the national polls, and last night's performance did not hurt him. The polling numbers are still coming out, but I think Colorado, Ohio, he's going for even battleground states that were solid Clinton realms. I think Donald Trump is gaining momentum, and I think it's only going to get stronger as we move towards November.
Do you think he has any chance of increasing his support, particularly looking, as Anushay pointed, looking at America as a horrible place for African Americans after 8 years of an historic African American presidency? I was looking while I watched the debate thinking, excuse me, as an older white man, why are you thinking that you can win over African Americans and convince them that things are much, much worse for them when the data show a different story?
Well, I think he is trying to win over all minorities, and he wants to make America great again for all people. So regardless of our minorities.
Do you think, is that smart strategy? Does all America think the country is falling apart and we're in horrible shape and we're no longer the world's leader?
Well, I think a lot of people do realize that we are facing a tough time within our country and we need new leadership. Clinton, being a career politician, struggled, and America is ready for new leadership. And Clinton and Trump is providing that new vision for America. He is a businessman. He knows how to turn things around, and that's what we're hoping that he will do once he gets to the White House.
You know, Bonnie, if I may just say, I thought that was so offensive. Why does Trump keep talking about what a terrible place America is and what a terrible period that we're in? Our economy is up. Things couldn't be better. Of course, there's always, more progress that we could do. America is already great. And I really love how Clinton stipulates that. You listen to Trump, oh, this was the best. He referred to America as a third world country. Let me tell you something. As somebody who was born in a third world country, America is no third world country. And I don't even think...
Do you even use, I thought it's developing nations.
Yes,
not
developing nations, exactly. He actually, it's very offensive to say that. And I think that's exactly what he does, though. I mean, he does this he's so politically incorrect, and he's trying to be a politician. But he alienates the very people whose votes he needs, He says that, look what he does to the African Americans, to the Latinos, to the Muslims. Are you serious? You really want our vote? He doesn't even know how to speak to us. And when he tries, he really exposes how deep his prejudice and discrimination really runs. Wake up, Donald Trump. It's 2016. All blacks are not living in the ghetto.
All right. Thank you both, ladies. You're terrific. And we look forward to seeing you on the show.
Thanks so much, Bonnie.
Thank you.
Take care.